Hey, everybody. Well, look, we're starting pretty much on time. How about that shit?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Well, this one says 6:01, but it's on school
You're a
time,
little,
which
you're a
is
little ahead. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the computer's ahead, but my phone over here is 6 o'clock. So
And also you're in Georgia, so you're closer to the equator. So there's like a time dilation thing happening as well, right? I
yes,
don't
but
think.
we're still coordinated with the time
Oh,
zone.
I see. I see. I always
Do
get
you
confused.
though? I
I don't.
wonder.
I'm faking it. I'm completely posing. So how are you?
Pretty good, all told. I got my progress report sent out today. We only
Hooray.
had, I don't understand how they do that. So the requirement is we're supposed to send out what are called deficiency reports, which is if a student is failing. I don't like doing that because, like, how do you hand those out and maintain, like, and respect? First of all, student privacy is the thing,
Hmm.
but also it's
Yeah.
just like you get a note and you get a note, and everybody's like, oh. So I just send it out to
Yeah.
everyone. Plus, especially with honor students, like by the time it gets to where the kid is failing,
Yeah.
like parents are gonna come back to me and be like, what? So I send it out to everybody, even if like I have some kids where they've told me that their goal for the semester is an 85 and they're only making an 84. But I mean, I have some who have like their goals like in a B, and some of them they're doing all the work and they're understanding everything and they're there every day. They've got like a 98. So, oh lordy. Anyway, so that was my big thing for today was I got all of those
Done.
sent out,
Sent out. Yeah.
which of course this year is even more challenging because more than half of my students aren't there. So what I have to do is open up the report, which is for all students, and normally I would just print out the darn thing and hand out one student per page, and then page two, page two, page two, etc. So I open up that document and I size it to where I can get one page to fit on the screen. And then I go to the student that I need to email, and I screenshot that one, and I send that one to the student, and then I also add the parent to the email. And then I go to the next one. I create a new email, and I send that one. I go to the next, and I screenshot that one, and then I send that to that parent. It's a very, and then I also include a message that says, please reply to this email with the parent or guardian name, the name of the student's average in the class, and the number of absences so that I know that you were able to open the attachment.
Mhm. A lot of work.
It really is. 255 AD, no. I am not.
We have talked about this before. Yeah.
Yeah, I am anti-grading. I think that students do need feedback and they do need evaluation. They need to be aware of what the expectations are for proficiency levels. And I don't know that students are ever too young for narrative feedback, ever. Like they're saying, we need you to use complete sentences.
Right.
You're not consistently using complete sentences. And with my students, with honor students, especially in the high school level, it's because they're getting, going like they have these long convoluted thoughts and they're getting really into it. And they're not necessarily thinking about sentence structure, which is okay. It's just they need to make sure that they check for it on like big things like essays and stuff, things that are major grades. And secondly, they need to develop the habit of when you write, get in the habit of using complete sentences. When you talk, nobody cares. Nobody cares. But if you're writing, just like develop that as a habit.
Yeah.
And some of them have, and some of them have not. I'm sorry to hear that, Radical Bacon. I'm glad it's not your computer that's overheating, but it's kind of a pain.
So before we get started, and once again, you have a thing at 8 that you have to be available
yes,
for.
Thank you. I would totally forget. Yeah, I get together with my family on Wednesdays at 8, and we talk about books.
Yeah.
And
so
often
we have
politics.
So we have plenty of time to watch the episode and talk about it, but we don't have all night. So
I need to stop yapping.
Well, no, I'm just
If y'all want me to talk, just start asking questions about teaching, and I will be like la 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 la
And
la la
that'll
la.
be we should just do a live stream where there's no planned topic and no format at all. It's just you talking about you interacting with the live stream, and it'll be like a 6-hour show.
No, not necessarily. People are going to get tired of me before 6 hours. I
Well,
guarantee you.
or you'll be like,
No, I'll especially if they ask about teaching. I'll just make sure that I have plenty of tea so that I can stay, and I have my menthol cough drops. I'm prepared, Steve.
You are absolutely always prepared.
Pedro, you can find guava juice. It's I think Goya produces it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like processed, so it's not like fresh, and in the like even the fresh stuff is usually bottled rather than like in a carton.
Yeah. Geralta Trekkie, Dana will be a guest on my Monday show coming up soon-ish. Actually, I invited. I don't know. I haven't figured out exactly when, but I'm going to have a show in March where it's going to be actually Dana and also some random geek are going to be on with me, and
that's going to be so much fun.
And they're going to
poor Steve.
The plan is they will argue with me and hopefully each other a little bit about anarchism. So, but that'll be sometime in March. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm still working out dates with other guests, but yeah. So anyway, go
255 AD. It has been ordered. It's been ordered.
It has been ordered.
I am waiting. I am attempting to be patient.
And I've got mine because mine's just out of the oven. Mine's just frozen. So.
Ooh, what else on it? Was that olives that I
saw? No, it's another margarita pizza. So it's like.
Is that just a burnt bit?
No, it's diced tomatoes, and it's not. They call it a margarita pizza. Traditionally, a margarita pizza is just tomato and cheese, but this also has little bits of green on it. It has like some broccoli and I think some spinach on it. So it's not a total like classic margarita pizza, but that's but it's delicious.
It's punk.
Yeah,
it takes the classic and then it messes with
exactly. It's exactly. But so we will be watching Deep Space Nine this week, and we will be watching episode 7 of Deep Space Nine.
I have a subtitle. Jadzia is charged with the long ago murder of a beloved war hero from Klestron 4, a crime allegedly committed by her previous host, Curzon.
Yeah. That's what we're watching. Dax.
Dun, dun,
Dax.
Dun. Dax, the one we're watching.
Dax, the one.
Well, I'm ready.
Okay, is everybody? Pardon me. Don't mean to hold you up.
And Kaylee Anderson, yes, Papa John is no longer part of Papa John's. So now it's just affordable and tasty pizza.
And I think that isn't it like Shaq's deal now? I mean, I know he doesn't own the company, but I think he's on the board of directors or something.
Is it what?
Shaquille O'Neal. I
had no idea. Dang it. I will probably forget to look that up because I'm going to try.
I know he's on the he's involved in management of the company in some way. He's not running the whole company, but he's on the board of directors.
I'm writing it down so that I'm not tempted to look during the episode because I totally am. I'm like, well, I can just start and I'll just open a new tab. Another one. So Shaq and Papa John's.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a note now.
Okay, you'll remember after when you
you
wrote it down, so you won't have to remember. Okay, so and I love people are riffing on the Flash Gordon, the Queen Flash Gordon theme in the live chat. Dax. It fits. It works. So we will be we will be starting at 0000. So everybody hopefully has the episode queued up on their end by now, whether you're watching it on Netflix or CBS All Access or on DVD or whatever. And I will, as usual, count us in from 3. It'll be 3, 2, 1, play, and we play on play. And when we get to commercials and stuff, I'll do 3, 2, 1, pause, and we'll pause it and we can talk for a while and then we'll get back into it. So Dana, are you ready?
I am so ready.
Okay.
Waiting on you, man.
I know. I just like to confirm. Okay. Here we go. Everybody get ready. Counting us in 3, 2, 1, play.
It's not just the graceful pan, the
No,
beauty shot.
there's voiceover. Getting right to it.
I kind of wasn't all paying complete attention there. But
Basically, all he said was that Chief O'Brien's not here.
Okay. I heard about the 100th birthday of his mother, but I was like, who? Oh, Chief
O'Brien.
Those nasty Cardassians. Ooh, Sarah, interesting. I had a coffee cup like that.
Those are a lot of people used to have them. They were like the spill-proof ones, but they're like you see those a lot on Deep Space Nine, especially in the early seasons. It's like a future cup. It's a space cup.
I was thinking, yeah, it is, but like it's the station doesn't like jostle that much. Does
I know it's.
Bashir trying too hard again. Always. I say always, and I haven't seen the show, but I mean, it seems like always.
He's in his try hard phase.
Look at the face. Look, just tell him to piss off. Specifically, I don't want you to.
I'm just not that into you.
That's what it means. To quote Audrey Hepburn, no, thank you. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It gets even worse. Just just watch for a second. This is the part that that really always bothered me about that.
Oh no. Good.
Oh, I almost touched my thingy and he took it away. That's the right one.
Let's look at the face that we are completely unfamiliar with to make sure that we have.
So what bothers me about that is not just that Julian is a creep and she says goodnight and he's like, I'm gonna go after her anyway. But it's the fact that he's a creep that allows him to interrupt her abduction.
Oh yeah, and then when he like pulls the hood back and sees that it's a girl, he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to hit a girl." And then the girl goes for him. He's like, "Oh, I guess I better hit a girl."
Yeah, but
and he still gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah, at least he still gets his ass beat a little bit. But it's like I've always been bothered by the fact that like he's a creep, and it's like, oh, good thing he was creeping on her. Well,
no. It allowed him to do something, but like it was ineffective.
Yeah,
did not matter. The only thing it allowed him to do is like be aware of the situation because I think they left him. Anyway.
Opinions no one cares about busting out the radio head.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Now, see, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with being a weirdo. Being a creep, not okay. Being a weirdo, perfectly fine. They're not synonymous. Let's be clear.
Lots of people are weirdos and they're perfectly lovely. Well, not maybe. Some
so
people.
Much.
Do you think of yourself as a weirdo?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah. Yeah, season 1 Bashir is Bashir is a character that it takes the writers a little while. Well, once they figured out how to write Bashir without making him a creep, he became a fantastic character. But early on, he's
Azalea.
A little
weird, good, creep, bad.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Ta-da! He's a doctor, not a fighter, damn it. I know that reference.
Captain America. I know that. I get that reference.
being a creep is fine if you're like trying to stay low to the ground.
That's
the only way in which it's fine.
If you are creeping, literally at the time, yes.
If you have to go under things, then it's convenient. Well, actually, no, it's still inconvenient. But
yeah. Oh, he's waking up from his nap.
Sorry, Pedro, I totally talked over the theme.
Took her where, for a malt? Oh, I took her. Could be a few minutes, could be 6 or 7 hours. I don't know. I love how he's got Google Maps on his little tricorder to figure out how to get through the station.
Hey, it's the future, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at the time. I mean, it was.
That's true.
Chris Kringle, that was 8 days ago. We were wondering where we were, but we didn't bother to go look. We were perfectly fine. Not having to deal with you.
You have a really crack medical staff at the infirmary. We didn't even miss you.
255 AD, they didn't care about him. They thought he was complete. I mean, he goes down with one punch. He's obviously inept and is no threat to them whatsoever. Loretta Reyes, we're at minus 38.50.
Yeah.
And ish, about 7 minutes in.
Yeah. How do you open a lock in Star Trek? You put a thing on top of another thing.
And then you beep some things.
You push some buttons.
There's sparkly lights.
Well, you need those Cateron force fields. They're the best kind.
No.
If it's money you want, I can tell you I haven't got any. What I do have is a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Yes, Rambling Johnny, that's correct. This episode was written by DC Fontana, one of the truly legendary Star Trek writers. She was arguably the most important Star Trek writer ever, I would say.
Johnny, Rambling Johnny, this is a DC Fontana episode.
Wow, that's like completely out of left field.
255 AD and anybody else. I don't care about spoilers, but I mean, I don't know how interesting my reactions are. If I know that something is coming up, I don't know. And honestly, if it's a long way off, I'm going to forget. It's my superpower. Hi, Emily. Not that extremity. They're ultra Trekkie. I like how smug Kira is just in general.
Just overall.
I don't know why I think it's cool for Kira, but I don't like it. Well, Bashir usually isn't. He's smarmy.
Smarmy. It
comes off as smarmy, not smug. Why do I know him?
He's been in tons of stuff.
I know.
He's one of those.
I was kind of wondering if like I could place which stuff I knew him from. But probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to commercial here, but we'll just let it play because it hasn't been very long, I don't think. Seems like the credits were just over.
We don't all keep our genitals in the same place. Like, I mean, as though they're like something that you put somewhere instead of something that is somewhere. I mean.
That is a classic but totally unnecessary line from Star Trek 6. We don't.
See, I wouldn't have known that being like not a Star Trek.
We don't all keep our genitals in the same place, Doctor. Or Captain, or whoever she was talking to. I don't know. Don't you take that tone with me.
Let me tell you something. Please, Odo. Please.
Lend me your ears, Odo. Let me unspool a tale.
I have a whiner.
Oh no. Kitty. Sarah, thank you. The evil guy was the president on 24.
Yeah.
I've seen him in other stuff too, though, because I never watched 24. He's been in tons of stuff.
Oh, I'm getting biscuited. Why couldn't you have stayed in a nap?
Can I come around to your side? Hi, Emily.
Oh,
Yeah,
Benjamin.
yeah.
First name. Dun, dun, dun.
That's Commander Benjamin to you.
Just call him Benji.
Benji? I think Ben is about as far as he'll allow you to go.
Okay, time to go. Boop, boop. But no.
Who decorated this place? Did you decorate this? 'Cause...
Depending on how you count a year.
Yeah, we're talking Earth years, trill years.
525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in a life? I don't know. I'm just like, I didn't think I had that much caffeine today, but apparently.
You're on fire.
That is so awesome. That guy, the guy who's in the thing, that's awesome. I love that.
He's that guy.
Is Cisco's middle name seriously Lafayette?
Lafayette, yeah. That's his canonical middle name.
Oh
yeah.
God, I've been infected.
Benjamin Lafayette Cisco.
Oh yay!
Yeah.
He's named after the Marquis.
Marquis de Lafayette. The Lancelot of the Revolutionary Set.
So much. Oh, he's gonna diss her.
Yeah. I love the expression on her face.
Look, she's smug again. She's smug. Look at that. She's got twinkles in her eyes.
I love that line reading. I love the way she bites into that. It also
look at that.
annoys us. Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna get what I want.
She's really good in that scene. Like, we haven't built that many sets. It's season 1.
That's super helpful. And like, soda is soda. Kira enjoys having power over dirt, but specifically rubbing their faces in it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Smooth operator.
Sarah, yes, I believe it was. It was definitely before they were married, yeah. And I think it was before they were a couple.
And now Oda's being smug. This is a smug episode. I like it.
Deep space smug.
30:57 left, so about not quite 15 minutes in. 14:40-ish.
Pedro, yeah, they were married for a while.
News to me. Spoiler alert, Steve. Jeez, you're telling people and then just...
It's a spoiler for real life. It has nothing to do with this show. Or does it? Kindness of his heart.
Since it's your job.
Look, Odo, if you want to have something to do in this episode, you're going to take the job, okay, bud? You want lines or don't you?
I know her. I know her. I
Yeah,
know her.
she's
I know
been
her.
in. She's another one who's been in tons of
No,
stuff.
no, no. Is she? What is she? No, is Batman?
I don't know if she's ever been in anything Batman.
It's bothering me.
I'm gonna have to look up the credits for this episode and see.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't she his? She's his assistant. Like there's going to be a statute of limitations on treason. I mean, I don't know. It's Star Trek. Maybe there is. They're pretty liberal.
Exactly.
Oh, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
She was in Mrs. Doubtfire. She was in Liar Liar.
Yeah, Liar. I remember her from Liar Liar. I can't place her in Mrs. Doubtfire. Is she?
Oh, she was in Quantum Leap. No kidding.
Social worker.
Huh?
Social worker.
Yeah, she's the social worker in Mrs. Doubtfire who comes to check. And that's when he puts his head in the cake. Or the meringue.
Yeah.
I just pushed him. And then he flipped into my bag. Well, I'm not here to make things easy on you. Do your job. Important character actor lady and important character actor man.
What I want you to do, Anne, is I want you to do your fucking job. Durant Trekkie, good question. Pretty much everybody was in Quantum Leap at one point or another, weren't they?
Not me.
Not me either. I auditioned so many times and I just got shut down. Probably shouldn't have kept auditioning for Sam. Okay, 3, 2, 1, pause. And I am paused at 27 remaining.
Me too. Is that Kira?
Yes, just fading in on Kira. Yeah.
Maybe
So
I haven't actually seen that. Or that. I've seen some of that.
You haven't seen what?
Well, I haven't seen Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and I haven't seen the Psycho remake. And I've seen some Law and Order, but has anybody really seen all of it? Like that would, I mean, are we talking like the entire franchise or just the actual original Law and Order? Because that would be impressive enough, because that show was on for like 20 years. But that would be
SVU
very
has been on for over 20 years just by itself.
But if you go into the spin-offs, then it's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be beyond a full-time job.
It's not quite to, in terms of number of episodes, I don't think it's quite to Star Trek level, but it's pretty close. Actually, it might be because it might be, in terms of number of episodes, it might be up there in Star Trek level, or maybe even more.
I would think so. Well, because
they've both been on for 20 years. In fact, now that I think about it, it's probably
which one was on for 20 years?
But the original and SVU have both been on. Or the original was on for
Trek,
20 years.
Genius.
Oh, Trek. Oh, no. Trek was the original was on for 3 years. TNG, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager were each on for 7 years. Enterprise was on for 4 years. Discovery is 3 years and counting.
Yeah, I know. No, I think Law and Order beats out Trek.
I think 20 years. 20.
That's a lot.
Two shows.
Now Trek has more spin-offs, I think, than Law and Order did.
Yes, but I think in terms of sheer number of episodes,
Especially
now that now that I think about it, in terms of number of episodes, Law and Order has to have more, because Criminal Intent was on for quite a few years too.
Yeah, no, I understand, because he picks things off, but I don't pick things off my pizza. I'm just clumsy, and sometimes they like fall into my lap, and then I eat them anyway.
Chris
I mean,
Kringle, yes,
my clothes.
the animated series as well. The animated series as well. Yes, that was on for
Now-
2 years.
Interesting. They've never had an animated Law and Order.
Oh, I wish they would. I wish they would.
Oh, yes. Yeah, excellent. Doctor Who territory.
So
Not quite, but it hasn't been around as long. You know what I mean? There's a sense of
yeah.
perpetuity there.
Yeah, Doctor Who's been around. Of course, well, the thing about, I mean, Doctor Who did have that relatively lengthy dormant period, though, and Law and Order.
Yeah, I know, which is really interesting.
There has been...
Which makes it more in line with Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, because Star Trek had... although I think Doctor Who's quiet period was longer than Star Trek's. Longer than both of Star Trek's. But I think Law and Order has been in continuous production the whole time. Like there has been a Law and Order show on since the first Law and Order, since the original debuted.
Jeez, Radical Bacon. Holy, that is a lot.
Yeah, that's way more than Star Trek.
That's a lot.
Star Trek, I think, is still under 1,000. So yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Yeah, that's a lot of TV.
I'm not that dedicated to.
Well, and honestly, I mean, Law and Order is a great show to watch if you just want to watch something. But like, I mean, you can't. Can you tell one episode from another? I mean,
depends on who the ADA is.
There are like standout episodes, but. I mean, yeah. So anyway, what do you think of the episode so far? So Dax has been accused of a crime committed by a previous host. Everybody's being super smug.
Yeah, but committed while Curzon was in a previous host. It's not quite. Yeah, I'm like, pizza. And
committed while Dax was in a previous host. Yeah.
Yeah, I get.
Curzon was the host. Yeah, Dax
Curzon was the host. Dax
is the worm. Is the thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Curzon was the host.
So, but I mean, they act. They act in conjunction.
Yeah.
So, what they're saying is that Dax did it.
That's their argument. Yes, that Dax did it, and whether Dax is in
the sauce.
And whether Dax is in a different host.
Exactly, but the tagline kind of gives away what I think is going to be the argument against that, because it says a crime allegedly committed by her previous host, Curzon.
Right.
And if the previous host is the one who committed it, well, he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There you have it.
There you go. So
there you have it. You have correctly summarized, I think, the arguments for both sides.
Well, they're right there.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Well, the worm can be removed, but
it can, but not if you want to keep the host
or the worm.
That's true. Well, I do think they established that if you take the worm needs to be placed in a host in order to survive. They can't just take it out and put it in prison.
The Trill has no responsibility for the life of the previous host.
Well, and Loretta says, "How do we know it wasn't Dax that did it?" I mean, that's part of what the episode is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Curzon or was it Dax?
Exactly.
But also, legally, to what extent is either being responsible, and so yeah.
Yeah. So.
Thank you, Sarah Scott. Well, I certainly hope I like it too, because we might have to rename the series.
Trek
eventually.
Enthusiastically.
Maybe.
Trek, I'm okay with this.
255 AD. I like that. That's a great comment. There was a case in the 19th century where a conjoined twin committed a crime, and the judge ruled that putting him in prison, locking him up, would be wrongfully imprisoning his brother.
Yeah, I kind of had the same. Yeah, because like at least in our justice system, theoretically, it doesn't always work this way. But theoretically, you err in favor of not punishing an innocent person. Yes. So if they did find that the Dax symbiont was guilty of this crime, but Jadzia was not guilty of it, you'd think they would not put not put her in prison, because it would be unfair to punish her, even though the symbiont had been found guilty.
Well, but there are so many different cultures.
Yeah. There's nothing to say that the troll would be the same, but I mean, according to our sort of
Right.
concept of jurisprudence.
And the Federation seems to be more liberalish,
Yeah.
more, but there are, like I said, lots of different cultures. So
Yeah. Deralta Trekkie, that Man of Steel video I mentioned on Twitter today will probably not be. I will probably not make that for a little while yet, but I have an idea for one. So shall we get back into it, or do you have? Okay.
I have pizza.
All right, everybody.
I'm so happy.
Once again, I'm so glad. We are paused at 27:27 remaining. So I'm going to count us in from 3, and we will keep watching this episode. So here we go in 3, 2, 1, play.
Gracias, Deralta Trekkie.
Yeah, that works. Sure, do that.
Rugnick, this is going to be a thing. So plan for pizza on Wednesday. Yay! Everybody should have pizza at least once a week.
Wednesday is pizza night. Yep.
This is another. We're just getting a ham and pineapple. I like it. I always like it. Occasionally we talk about getting something else, and occasionally we do, but usually not.
I love how Odo is sort of doing a 3/4 turn to the camera here, like he's in the middle of another conversation with that computer behind him.
Odo's so nice. Statues of him all over the place. Pizza Hawaii, yes. So good. Mine is because it's got meat on it. Steve can't have meat pizza until Saturday.
Well, I mean, I can. I just choose not to.
That's true.
I choose of my own free will. Mm-hmm. He never listened to his mother.
Chris Kringle, I like that.
He's not responsible. I know, because I killed him myself. Deralta Trekkie, I'm not sure, but yeah, that matte painting has been used a bunch. Yeah, the matte painting they used for the establishing shot of this planet has been reused a whole bunch. It might have been first used on Angel 1.
Husband should be like Kleenex, soft, strong, and disposable.
Just let yourself out.
Flies are where men are most vulnerable.
Try to catch up. Whatever.
Interesting reaction.
I know, right? Wonder what's up with that. And again, this guy been in tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. And no, he is not Randy Travis.
Who's Randy Travis?
Doesn't he look like Randy Travis?
I know that Randy Travis is somebody.
The country singer. You don't know what Randy Travis looks like? Well, Randy Travis looks just like that guy.
Okay, now I know what Randy Travis looks like. I was like, I know it's something with country, but I mean, it could have been a singer or it could have been a NASCAR driver. I wasn't sure. I knew it was one or the other.
No, he's not a NASCAR driver. He contributes something to society.
That's arguable.
Randy Travis is pretty good. I mean, my
I'll take your word for it.
my overall opinion of like modern popular country music is not terribly high, but Randy Travis is pretty good.
Mm. Country music is sad.
The popularity of much of it makes me sad. 255 AD, yes, I am. If I don't eat frozen pizza at least once a week, they come to my house.
Look, she said you have.
Yeah. Sorry, do I need to repeat myself?
Poetry.
He, she, or they, as established by Star Trek Discovery.
Wrote it exactly.
I've heard that joke. That's a good joke. You mean like develop and mature sexually? What is wrong with you people? Yes, Caitlin, I know, right? The Star Trek Discovery invented non-binary people. Isn't that amazing?
Charles, yet is the most important word in that sentence.
Yeah.
Just because I remember something that somebody else did doesn't mean I did it.
Right. Judge
Yay,
Moody.
recess! Let's go play hopscotch.
3, 2, 1, pause. So, yes.
No?
No.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Admittedly, I've been distracted by my pizza. I mean, I know what's going on, but like, I don't care what their arguments are. I mean, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's not a lot of drama, is there? Not a whole lot of suspense.
There really isn't, and I think it would be more interesting to see I think it would have been more interesting if they'd focused on how Jadzia feels about this.
Well, I think they're getting there. They talk about it a little bit.
They talk about it, but they're clearly not focusing on it.
Now that is an interesting point. That for an episode with Dax in the title, that is
a whole lot.
She's not. The episode doesn't really center her character at all. There's a lot of swirling around her, but she's not really at the center of the story. Pedro, I don't know if Dana has seen enough episodes of Star Trek to have an opinion on what's the best court or trial episode, but for me I think it's pretty clearly The Measure of a Man.
Is that the Data one?
Yeah, that's the Data one. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Even that's how significant that episode is.
Yeah.
I knew that one.
Starfleet was chartered to seek out new life. Well, there it sits.
Hi.
The drumhead is good too. Yeah, Pedro, the drumhead is really good too. The drumhead is a great
Pedro,
episode.
but I don't know that one.
That's a good episode.
I don't even know what series it's from.
It's from TNG.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another good Picard episode. Yeah. Throughout the Trekkie, Court Martial is good. Court Martial, I guess, was sort of the first one. Court Martial is a classic Trek episode. It's a good episode. Yeah, but yeah, you must see it. Now she's not gonna. Now she's not gonna see it.
Well,
she's
Steve.
contrary because you're contrary. Yes, Sarah Scott. That was the the drumhead is the episode where we get the immortal line from the villain, from the evil admiral. I've brought down bigger men than you, Picard. Oh, warms my heart every time I hear it.
Wow, that's hammy.
Oh, it's so good. It's totally
Here, my
hammy.
son, I can't. Oh, yes, specifically with the Avatar, it was the and you can argue it, but some of it may come down to the rule of what constitutes murder in their system, because it turns out that the previous incarnation, the Avatar Kyoshi, did kill somebody. Spoiler, Steve. Sorry. Look, plug your ears, dude, or take out your earbuds.
I'll take my please don't spoil a show I'm never going to watch.
Take out your earbuds. Okay, so it turns out that the Avatar Kyoshi did kill somebody, but it was the cause of someone's death, but it was not with the intent to kill them. And, her actions brought about this person's death, but it was, there was no intent involved. So yeah, I would argue that under our legal system, it wouldn't be murder. And then also it ended up not mattering. Okay.
Thank you for not spoiling a show that I'm never going to watch.
Everybody in the chat is saying that not everybody yet.
I am never going to watch it. And now it's become a battle of wills at this point. I am never watching it.
Aw, Steve. I will say we have something very special planned for after Firefly.
Oh, yes.
We're going to watch
Serenity, and then after, we know,
and then
yeah,
we know what we're going to do after that. And you guys it's something that I have seen that Steve
and I have
hasn't.
not. Yeah.
And I'll even tell you, it's another movie, so it's going to be we'll probably set it up as a two-parter. So we're going to have to figure out with Serenity how we're going to split it as well.
Yeah,
but
we'll figure it out.
I guarantee you. First of all, even if you get it right, I'm not going to tell you, and you're never going to guess it.
I don't think. Yeah. I don't think you'll ever guess it.
Just don't even.
Yeah.
It's not.
But yeah.
Loretta Reyes says, why should we watch that?
Watch what?
Exactly. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what
she's referring to.
Watch like
Lower Decks or Avatar or Detective Conan. I don't know. One of those.
I mean, I watched Lower
yeah,
Decks.
I really wish there had been more. Oh, yeah, the Gymnopedies. Yes, love it. No, it's not Galaxy Quest. Sarah, we've both seen that one.
Yeah, that's true. And we talked about we might do a Galaxy Quest watch along at some
That
point.
would be so much fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that, but it won't be like the next. That's not what we're talking about when we say what's coming after Firefly. No.
255 AD I did, and I didn't really see quite how that would work, like, or what the comparison was. Like, is the comparison, I mean, the comparison is not that Jadzia is not allowed to use the bathroom. I'm so confused what the comparison
I mean,
is. I'm like,
Jadzia
gets to use the bathroom. So
Jadzia is banned from using the bathroom for a reason completely unrelated to her gender. I mean, Cisco basically had to put his foot down and say, no, you just stop. This has to stop. And so she's not allowed to use the bathroom anymore.
Ever. Okay.
So, yes.
A needle pulling thread.
Shall we jump back in?
Let's do.
Okay, so and just so people who need a time code, we're paused at 19 minutes and 6 seconds remaining on Netflix, and we're gonna dive back in and see what is this the end of Dax?
2634, by the way.
Oh, that's the remaining.
No,
Or
that's how far we're in.
Yeah, see, I can't
And
tell
then
that
1906 remaining.
I can't tell that
because I have to hover over the little dot, and then you have to make sure the picture matches up. Because you can hover over the dot and hover over the dot wrong. Like I could say 2616, but if I let the picture pop up,
very clever.
It doesn't match. So yeah,
very clever.
I am diligent.
And Duralta Trekkie, I watched Sledgehammer when it was originally on, and it's hilarious.
So let me call your name.
Yep.
Peter Gabriel, everyone.
I don't have clearance for these songs. Okay.
All right. Come on, count us in so that we can put these.
You start singing Peter Gabriel, and I'm going to have to go watch some David Copperfield illusions. Okay.
Bye.
Okay, everybody.
Leave DS9.
I'll be just
I have to go.
I got to go watch David Copperfield. I'll be right back. Okay. We're going back in. Kind of count us in from 3. In 3, 2, 1, play.
Shutting up. Everyone's gonna die. I love her. She's awesome. That's very precise. 93 hours.
No, they counted. There were some really dark experiments in Trill history.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of. Yeah. Certainly not. Is that I like her and I don't want you to take her away from me, even though she doesn't like me.
I love that sassy pause that he gives him. What is relevant, sir? He fucking sits on him for a minute.
Loretta, maybe they, happened to lay next to each other, and one thing led to another, and
these things
you end
happen.
up with a worm in your abdomen.
A lot can happen in space.
The big brain and the little brain. In your investigations, which is more important, the big brain?
Which brain is like the head brain? I mean, is it literally the head brain? Oh, good night, Sarah. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Sarah. Thanks for joining us. I don't want to say that. Oh.
I wish to assert my 7th guarantee privilege.
What's that?
That's the Star Trek version of the Fifth Amendment, which is a reference to the drumhead. Oh, ka-ching. Oh, yeah.
She's so sassy and
She's
I
great.
love it.
Permission denied. I'm just kidding.
Permission granted.
Draw out to Trekkie, the 7th guarantee. I'm more interested in men, too.
Is she interested in women?
We haven't found that out yet. That's a later character development.
I don't know about that. I share the opinion with Agatha Christie that anyone is capable at least of murder, if not treason. And I think not everybody has the opportunity for treason.
In the right circumstance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about your opinion.
I love how he nods like, correct.
Whose shoulder pads? His?
I thought they were talking about Kira's.
Because I say so. Some random geek, come on. That's an insult to parasites.
Pedro, yeah, the scene is in Quarks. That was what that Odo scene was about.
He's like, I don't wanna.
Now get the hell out.
No, not that.
God. Can't believe we drew Judge Moody for this. Okay.
Oh, no. There's always a choice.
I'm jumping out the airlock. That's my choice. What do you think of that?
That you shouldn't do it.
Oh, well, obviously.
Of course it is.
Okay, Odo, you dialed the 911 code. This better be important. He's got a really good record collection.
I'm telling you, they were getting it on.
Oh, yeah. The wife?
Dun, dun, dun!
The wife. I had a feeling about those two. Maybe he was hitting that. I don't know.
Providing a little emotional support.
Providing a little emotional support.
Support in some other ways.
You know what I mean? If they were having an affair, I can't blame him. I've met her, and she is
I'm
spicy.
not a horn dog. I'm just, open to innuendo like all the damn time.
Let it keep playing.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind. One of those kinds of inns.
I know the truth, and it mocks me. I know the truth, and it shocks me.
I don't even know how they got my number.
Geralter Trekkie, exactly. Tell everybody just lost. Charles, it's part of the legacy.
Absolutely.
Azalea, it's not always appropriate to just do what feels good.
Come on, confess. It'll feel good.
Unfortunately. I won't have to commit suicide. They'll take care of it for me.
They will? Cool. You don't know the half of it.
Help me.
Help you.
I can try. So inconvenient for me.
They're all Trekkie, not as good as my Picard, unfortunately, and my Picard ain't all that great.
Radical Bacon, I thought the Dungeon Master's favorite words were, "You don't find any traps."
I can tell you exactly which part it was.
So he loved her, but she doesn't think that that was enough to justify what he did. Dax is so hot. Lol.
Man, this judge has just about had it.
No, she had it a while
She's
ago. Now
like,
she's just like, oh, more. Or both. Why does it bother you? Just like it's reality, accept it. It's not that difficult.
It's space. Shit is weird. Just get over it.
Mm-hmm. Did Curzon also excel?
Oh, there's
in
a
tests
bunch.
of character?
Yeah.
Pedro says you say you would never be a joint trail. How come? All of them.
All of them.
She's Jane Bennett.
She's too good for this sinful world.
Yeah, you have to say world. You can't say Earth because, I mean, they're not on Earth.
Indeed.
Ah. So you mean, Pedro, that you could never.
You might want to be, but you couldn't.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Oh, here comes the big Matlock moment. The judge is just like, whatever. Do whatever you're going to do.
Do what? Apparently so.
I'm a pretty big deal. Shut your hole. My God. Oh, where was he?
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
The Dirty Dancing defense. That's right. And I'd do it again. And again.
You might. I'm just saying.
Thank God.
Yeah, he was sleepy. I told him he could, snooze just for a bit.
Mostly the wormy part.
He's the worm. I'm the tequila bottle.
That's how it works. Chris Kringle, that's great. You're saying you wasted my whole afternoon because you were too chicken to admit you were screwing the prosecutor's mom?
Well, she says nobody's ever going to know.
Yeah. I just want one night. Anyway, bye.
Dots.
Dax dots. Dax and dots.
Dots. Hooray!
End of episode. So there we have it.
Da, 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 da.
It's like that. Is that the Edith Bunker version of the?
Da, 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 da.
So what'd you think of that one?
I liked it pretty well. Once we got more of Dax actually in the episode,
Yeah,
it was better.
Once they remembered to actually put her in it.
Emily, não sei que fala português.
Yeah, mullet. That's where I was going with one last favor, one last round at the Holiday Inn. Come on, what do you say?
I'd even go for Motel 6 as long as it was you. Yeah, that's what it's almost Harley Quinn, but I think I don't know. The legend of this asshole who Dax?
her
or her husband.
Her dead husband. Yeah.
We don't obviously. I don't know enough about her culture and like why this particular legend of the hero who died for the people. And it I don't know how soon the Firefly episode where we talk about heroes and people who make sacrifices and maybe aren't really the people that their legends say they are.
Mm-hmm.
And how important it is for people to believe in the legend as opposed to just believing in the facts.
Right. Well, I guess I mean that's a really common trope in fiction, especially in like sci-fi and fantasy fiction. It seems like, you know what I mean, like because there's a version of that at the end of Watchmen too, where it's Ozymandias tries to wants to create world peace on top of this horrible lie.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. They know where I'm going. You don't know, but you gonna.
Yeah, haven't seen it yet.
So Caitlin, we didn't in this case, because they were saying at the end that she was saying we never know. She seems to think that it was him.
Right. But the important bit is it wasn't Dax.
Yes. They're all yeah. Yes. Daryl to Chucky, yes, that's exactly what I'm referencing. But the and I mean, you can also the idea seems to be that people need something that gives them hope.
Yeah.
Possibly. An alternate reading is that people will choose to believe something that gives them hope, even if deep down they know that it's not accurate. And so, of course, then there's also the ending of episode 7 where we have, what did they bring us? Hope.
That's right. Yes.
Da-da-da.
Yeah, and Random Geek references Last Temptation of Christ too. Yeah, the whole the one of the best scenes in that movie when during the Last Temptation sequence when Jesus, who has at that point has escaped the cross, finds Paul still preaching and preaching the Jesus story as though Jesus had been crucified and risen
from the dead.
And Jesus is like standing there going, that's not true. I survived. I didn't die on the cross. God saved me. And Paul is just like, it doesn't matter. Like the people need to hear this story. They need something to believe in. And if you contradict me too much, the people who believe me will just rise up and kill you. Like the truth literally does not make a difference. What matters is the story and what people believe. And Jesus is like, oh, that sucks.
Oh, 255 AD. Thank you so much for that explanation. 'Cause I just did not get that that's where you were going.
Oh, that is that is an interesting comparison. Yeah. It's like you could use it for like Trill fear mongering. Like,
yeah. That's just, I'm like, no, people just want to take a dump in peace. My God.
Yeah, I know. Just leave people alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, some random geek. Like I said, that might be the best. It might be the best scene in the movie. It's a really, really good scene.
Oh boy, yeah. Gotham needs a lot. Gotham sucks.
I don't know. I guess you don't get that reference though, do you? Because you didn't see The Dark Knight. Or do you know? Or do you know enough about it to get that reference?
I know enough about it. Yeah, I know enough about it. I think. And I think is that the one with you either die a hero?
Yeah, because that's where you took that quote from on your poster. Yeah,
on my poster of Xena. Yeah, and then I flip it. I think it's so much better my way.
Well, it's better. It's a better motto to live by. But in the movie, it fits.
Yeah, and it's said by somebody who is grumpy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
in Gotham, everybody's grumpy.
Well, but Batman doesn't say it. Harvey Dent says it.
Yeah, I know, but he's grumpy too. That's my point.
Well, he's a little grumpy. He's a little grumpy, especially near the end. He gets super grumpy near the end.
Yeah. Oh, angsty. Yeah, I'm
a little angsty. Yeah, a little bit.
A little angsty.
The whole half your face burned off thing just doesn't agree with me.
I don't think I've watched a Batman movie since I was told I had to, actually. I don't think, no. I saw the first one.
Batman Begins.
Yeah.
So overrated. But I disagree with your Ultra Trey. I do think Batman Begins is super overrated. I think The Dark Knight is absolutely brilliant. I think The Dark Knight is a masterpiece. And I think Dark Knight Rises is pretty good.
I found out that they were giving Batman a girlfriend. I'm like, no. That's like rule. It's a rule. It's a thing. And also the fact that they do it so much.
It does seem like you can have female characters in the movie without having them be Batman's girlfriend. Like you're totally allowed to do that. Like you're really, you can do that.
God, I'm getting angry now.
Well, that's then. Okay.
You're making me angry, Steve.
Are you gonna become the She-Hulk?
No, because I don't want to smash things because I'm cheap.
Well, the She-Hulk is more lucid than the Hulk, though. Like she still has her wits about her, so
That's true. Matthew McKinnon Gray, possibly that about the Joker never being grumpy, but I don't care because the Joker sucks. I'm just gonna tear this wrapper angrily,
indignantly.
No, there's more than indignance here. There's just
anger.
Although
fury.
255 AD has a legitimate question. For both of us. Okay. Papa John's pizza or frozen pizza, which is better or less terrible? I don't like this pizza that we get from Papa John's. It is not my favorite pizza, but for pizza that just comes right to you and requires no work whatsoever, just money, I really like that.
Papa John's pizza is pretty good, but it's okay. But I mean, it depends on which frozen pizza. I have had frozen pizzas that I think are better than Papa John's. But it depends.
It depends very much. It depends. So sorry to give a very lukewarm answer there.
All pizzas are not created equal.
Alas. Buffalo pizza. I am pro buffalo pizza. It's actually I'm very not picky when it
Yeah,
comes
it's
to
pizza.
Yeah,
It's pizza.
tasty things. Like I'm not. I will say, not big a fan of chicken on pizza. And I don't know if it's just because of the flavor mix that Papa John's use,
Mhm.
but I'm not a big fan of chicken on pizza.
On pizza. Interesting.
And I think some of that's because of just either the flavor profiles or the type the way they cook the chicken before they put it on the pizza.
Mhm.
I don't know. Because obviously pizza cooks quickly enough that you can't put
You'd have
it's
to
not
pre-cook it.
executive.
Yeah, you have to pre-cook it. Yeah. Yeah. 255 AD. I would say my current go-to frozen pizza I like better than Papa John's. Yeah. Papa John's is not real high on my favorite pizza list. I think it's fine, but there's lots of other like delivery pizza and restaurant pizza that I think is way better than Papa John's.
What other delivery pizzas do you like better?
I mean, honestly, I think Pizza Hut is like a million times better than Papa John's.
A million times.
Yeah,
wow.
I like it's and there's like I've told you there's a local place, Cafe del Sol, that isn't even primarily a pizza joint, but they have pizza on the menu, and their pizza is phenomenal. It's probably my favorite of the pizza that I get somewhat regularly these days. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah. Well,
there's a couple other local places that I order from time to time that are really good.
Are you done?
Go ahead.
My favorite pizza places don't deliver to here, so I have to. Yeah, I have to just not have it. Hot sauce on pizza, absolutely, I can go for that. Oh yes. Charles Chapman, what's subtextual? I know. Oh, dot. What was Pagan Frost have great moments? Okay. Yeah, and in fairness, I haven't had Pizza Hut in quite some time, and I've heard Domino's has gotten better too.
Domino's is pretty good. Yeah, I'll order. I mean, Domino's doesn't. There's not a Domino's around where I'm at now that delivers, and I usually only order from Pizza Hut if they're like the only place open, because there's local places that I think are better that I would rather give my money to. But yeah, I mean, and actually, I don't know. There are a couple of Papa John's in the area, but none that deliver here.
There's this place, or there was this place. It was a actually they had a little sit-in spot, Bob's Brick Oven down in Rock Spring, and they called it the Picnic, and it was like barbecue, and it had pulled pork, and just the mingling of flavors was amazing. That was on the regular, but we almost never got it because we would just go in and say, okay, what's the special? We'll have that.
Right.
Like this man. I don't know how he did it. He would put like stuff together that you wouldn't think would go together, like barbecue pizza with kimchi.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And of course the zing, I mean, when you think about it, it's like, yeah, I can kind of see that, the zinginess but the sweetness of the barbecue and the more salty tang of the kimchi sort of complement each other. Oh, that one was really good. And then he had a loaded baked potato pizza.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And then of course cheeseburger pizza and just all sorts of different stuff. And like cheeseburger pizza with like a cheese-based sauce, but then he sort of made the marinara sauce was a little bit sweetened, so it was ketchup-ish, but it wasn't ketchup. Oh.
Sounds good.
Yeah, 255 AD, I'm like, I guess, character references are a thing, but yeah, that's why I was like, no, everybody has their point. Yeah. Everybody got their point where somebody got to die.
And it's kind of I mean, again, it's like it's a really popular trope, and it's like and it's sort of a shortcut, it's just sort of putting to establish like what side everybody's on, like
but also, I mean, it can be done in a way that's interesting and enjoyable to watch. So like, because I think it tells us more about Cisco than it does about anybody else. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, it doesn't tell us anything about Dax, because you're right. She could still have been a murderer, but it tells us that Cisco believes in her that much.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Duralta Trekkie, I have not read that comic, so I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is with Batman and Catwoman in the comics at the moment. I have not been keeping up.
Pedro says, please check the link. I don't know what link you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what link. I didn't see a link.
Charles Chapman. Way back in the day, we used to get actual honey with chicken McNuggets, and I think the breading was different too because they came out crispier. And oh man, with like dip, not honey dip, not honey mustard, not honey sauce, but like actual honey.
Speaking of McDonald's, I have also often enjoyed you regaling me with tales of the sadly no longer made fried apple pies at McDonald's.
No, because it wasn't just apple. My favorite,
The
of course,
fri-
was cherry.
Oh, the fried pies. The fried
Yes,
pies. Yeah.
yes,
The
the
little
deep
hand
fried
pies.
pies.
Yeah.
And they just crisp up so nicely and they get the bubbles. Oh, so good. The baked pies are not remotely as good.
Yeah.
But you probably have not read the Dragon Riders of Pern, any of the Dragon Riders of Pern books.
Nope. I don't even. Nope.
But as it happens in the Harper Hall trilogy, the second book, they have a fair. And one of the things that are available at the fair is described as bubbly pies.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's what it is.
That's like what you're.
I'm like,
yeah.
that's, yes, Summer Random Geek, you're absolutely true. Arby's had, I haven't been to Arby's in a long time. Yeah, and so they had, and they're also, you can find them sometimes frozen. Pepperidge Farm turnovers seem to be very similar, at least, and they're the same size. And then, oh, they're so good. But the grocery stores, I've only seen now peach and apple and raspberry. Man, just this past Saturday, the raspberry one was really tempting, but they used to have cherry, and I'm just like, I don't need the turnovers. Oh, but yeah, Charles Chapman, the fair is like my favorite part of that entire trilogy of probably the entire series. I love it. It's food sections in books, just they make me happy. I like food.
You know what? I don't. Oh, the widget isn't working. Thanks, Radical Bacon. I didn't even notice that the live chat widget. There, it's back now. I don't know why it goes out like that sometimes.
Cherry turnovers, Summer Random Geek. Yes, cherry turnovers are the best. Oh my gosh.
But 255 AD, yeah, that if you mean Cafe del Sol, yeah, it's in Hagerstown. And well, I was going to say something else.
Loretta, I'm not really a fast food expert. I don't go to there's a Hardee's not too far from here. I usually don't go. Well, Azalea Jane, you're welcome to come for Firefly next week as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We do it every week. It's just every other week is Deep Space Nine, but on the off weeks it's Firefly, and you're welcome to come for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been. So yeah, I like this episode pretty well. Could have had more Dax. Could have had more Kira. Let me tell you, Kira was great in this episode. We didn't get to see her. We didn't get to see her much, but but I mean, sometimes she had really lines that really were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And she ran with it.
She made the most.
She didn't just ham it up, but you could just, she was having fun. It was fun.
Well, and it's important. This is one of the episodes, and I mean, part of it was probably that it was written by DC Fontana, who was, as I said, was a legendary Star Trek writer. But also, it's sort of the show is starting to find its voice a little bit and starting to do more things to sort of establish its own tone and become the show that it eventually is going to be. And so little moments like my favorite Kira moment that we talked about when she's talking to the Gregory Itzin guy. And she's like, not only is that a violation of Bajoran security, but it also annoys us. Like, I love that line reading. I love that so much.
I will say it's not about the cooking, it's about the eating. Euromexon, where do you start with the Dragon Rider books? I would start with, honestly, especially if you're starting with somebody younger, I would start with the Harper Hall trilogy because they're little books. They're skinny. some of the Dragon Rider books, I mean, they're like, classic fantasy novel size. The Harper Hall books were a good read. Although you jump, which is weird. You have the same protagonist for the first two books, and then you have a different protagonist who you meet in the second book for the third book. Which is a little weird. And I didn't like him as much. And I didn't care. I didn't care about the main conflict there. I skimmed through Aragon and didn't like it. Daryl Turturkey. I will make a plug. If you like food books, the best food book in the world is in the little house series. It's Farmer Boy. Holy heck, that sucker is like food from beginning to end, like pie and bread and just different kinds of meat and vegetables and soup and stew and just food. Be careful that you don't read that book when you're already hungry, because you're gonna be. Like, read it after dinner, because holy heck, there's a lot of food. And
That's
also
great.
milking. I mean, it's Farmer Boy, but they live on a very prosperous farm, so there's always a lot of food. Oh my goodness, it's great. Yeah, the radical bacon. There's definitely some problems with Laura Ingalls Wilder herself, but there are some things that I really appreciate about the series. There's that. And then anytime that I'm having a really hard time teaching, I go back and read The Long Winter with Laura's first time teaching. I'm like, I don't have to walk through like 2 feet of snow to get to the school. I don't have to live in a strange house with strange people who are possibly trying to kill each other. I don't have to discipline my students with a black snake whip. That I don't.
So there are some pluses.
There's no need. It could be worse.
It could be so much worse, apparently.
So much worse.
So incredibly much worse.
I have stressful things about my job, but those are not problems that I have. And I feel pretty good about that. I have 255 AD. This is, he's asking how people in the area are reacting to Marjorie Taylor Greene getting penalized. I haven't heard anything about it, to be honest. I know legitimately I teach at a high school that has about 1,100 students between 9th and 12th grade. And among the faculty, not just the teachers, but janitorial staff, clerical staff, administration, I can count on less than one hand the number of left-leaning people that I know are not even like lefty, but
left of center.
Left of center. It's less than 5 that I know of. We're all keeping our mouths shut. And I guess in the interest of harmony, it's not a real vocally political environment, especially because like it's a public school. And so you have to be really careful about that kind of thing. So, and honestly, I mean, it's school and home, and that's it. Like, this is my socializing. So other than that, I don't know. It hasn't crossed my Facebook feed a lot either. My Facebook feed is, and especially since I also have contact with people from, not here. Yeah, there's not a lot about it. I'm not hearing a lot about it. So.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, that happened, and then like a couple of days after that, the impeachment trial started in the Senate. So that's kind of, taken over the news.
Yeah. Summer Name Geek says, I saw MTG and thought it meant Magic the Gathering. I saw that and I'm like, because somebody used that abbreviation. I'm like, for the days when that meant Magic the Gathering. Can we ever get back there? Well, maybe someday. Maybe someday. I thought teachers were largely left-leaning. They should be. Why aren't they? It's public education. It's like a service that's provided for everyone by the government because we all benefit from it.
Right.
And it's like, even if you don't have children, you're still expected to like pay, and your taxes still go to fund this. You can't like not pay these taxes. You don't get a discount. I don't get a discount because I don't have children going to school. Yes. 250 asks, do you think they voted for her out of party loyalty and aren't interested in defending her?
I bet that's the case for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm really hoping it's making them question that party loyalty. I'm really, really hoping. Yes, it's public education is so socialist, but I mean, given that it's funded by the government, it's also statist. But it is what it is. But just the parallel between public education and public health care, I don't like it. I cannot fathom why any public school teacher would be against public health care. Like it's not.
No, because you obviously are you are in favor of public education. One would think if you have chosen that for your career.
It's a public benefit.
Yeah. So what is the difference? Why is one okay but not the other? Yeah.
I don't know. No, Loretta Reyes, I am absolutely child free, but I still support it because it's good for everyone. I benefit theoretically from an educated populace.
Theoretically, that's the idea.
I know. Apparently, I've been doing a crappy job of it for the past, 15 years. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's not all your fault. It's not all your. Just think how much worse things would be if you weren't a teacher.
What if? Oh man, now I'm bummed. What if they would be better?
Dana,
what if they'd had somebody else for their 10th grade English teacher, and that made a difference, and they voted against Marjorie Taylor Greene?
What are the odds?
Yarmax on? No, it ain't. Not if they had my class, that's for sure. Oh, schools. Yarmaxon says schools designed to make kids conform to the status quo and not question authority. Not in my class.
Not in your class.
Oh my goodness! I didn't tell you. So I talked to the principal yesterday. I told you that.
Yes,
you know about that.
I know about that. I know about that.
And one of the things she said, she brought up that there had been something that had gone around about kids refusing to stand for the pledge because of Black Lives Matter. I think you must have,
You told me about that. Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah.
And I kept my mouth shut. But one of the Radical Bacon, Gibraltar Turkey, I'll come to those. And I'm also keeping an eye on this time, I promise.
Yes, I was going to give you a warning when we get to quarter till, but go ahead.
Thank you. One of my writing prompts, which is, answer this question, use complete sentences, demonstrate whatever grammar concept we're practicing at the time, whether it's a compound sentence or use of a prepositional phrase or something, underline something like that. But one of the questions is currently, students, the pledge is recited by someone over the intercom every day towards the beginning of the day at the end of the first class. Mm-hmm. Students are not required to stand or to say the pledge. Right. But they hear it. You can't not, I guess you could plug your ears.
You could plug your ears or
be like la 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 la. And they are not allowed, at least in my classroom, they are not allowed to interrupt others or prevent them from reciting.
Right. You can just be quiet. Yeah.
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 Should this change or remain the same? If it should change, should we, require everyone to stand? Should we require everyone to recite? Should we take it out of the morning announcements or should we keep it the same? And whatever you choose, why do you choose that? And I get some really interesting responses to that. Radical Bacon asks if I'm a Socratic teacher. Radical Bacon, I want you to go into a little bit more detail about what you mean by that, because there are different understandings as to what that means. And then Gibraltar Turkey, what would you have done for a living if you hadn't been a teacher? I did some other things before I taught, but they were related to, things that I believe, well, most of them were. My very, very first job was working in insurance claims for a doctor's office. And I worked there for a year or two, and I'm very grateful for it because it's so helpful to understand how insurance billing works. It's super useful, and I got money. So I learned about the insurance industry, And I got money. Ta-da! Hashtag winning. Um, $255 AD asks, I know which of my students are budding fascists.
Budding fascists.
They generally they generally are, especially since this is private. I mean, this is something they write down. It's not something they're saying in front of everyone. But a lot of the, especially here, we're in a very poor area. And so for a lot of people, the military is like it. They can't afford to go to college. And so a lot of people a lot of people have family who have been in the military. And given the lack of options for a lot of them, I don't, for them to, when they say that disrespect for the pledge, disrespect for the flag is disrespect for those who have served it, who have put their lives on the line for what America stands for, generally they're speaking about someone they know. And so I take that very seriously. I don't want to dismiss that. 255 AD, I care about them. That's just, they have been shaped by their very limited experiences.
Yeah, it's important. I have to remind myself about this. And I mean, I'm not a teacher. I don't interact with kids that age very much, but I mean, you do have to remind yourself, like, they're just kids, and it's not an excuse, but they're not completely, they're not completely done baking yet. You know what I mean? Like, if a 15-year-old kid in your class has an opinion like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a lost cause.
And I don't know that I've ever had someone say that everyone should be forced to say the pledge.
Yeah.
Those who say it, those who say that everyone should say the pledge, what they mean is that everyone should choose to say the pledge.
Everyone should want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that everyone should be compelled to.
But, and yeah, so, and because we say, that was fun. We say not only that they play, or someone says, somebody's the intercom's through the phone. Says not only the pledge to the American flag, but it's followed up by the pledge to the Georgia flag. And let me tell you, as someone who moved to Georgia from Pennsylvania, my first day of school, and I was not told about any of this. I was not told this. They did the pledge to the flag, and they said, and now the pledge to the Georgia flag, and everyone, salute, pledge. And I'm like, wait, what? I don't know this one. I'm not from here. It's not my fault. And I'm just, yeah, I think you can, but I mean, when you're thinking about, yes, the pledge to the Georgia flag has different words. So the pledge to the American flag is, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under God was added later. And yes. It's also set off with commas, which is interesting. And that kind of marks it that way. And then the pledge to the Georgia flag is, I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation. So it's, and I've been thinking about it again more recently, and it's interesting that we even in the wording of the pledge to the American flag, yes, it does pledge to the flag. It's just a symbol, and it is a piece of cloth. But it's interesting that I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, but we don't pledge allegiance to the nation. We pledge
to the flag.
To the
To the republic for which the flag
and
stands.
to
Yeah.
the republic, not
Yeah.
to the nation, the republic.
Yeah.
And 25580, yeah, I saw that. But each person's going to be different. I have not gotten the sense of, well, yeah, of course, everybody ought to be made to stand, because everybody
Right.
ought to be made to say the pledge. There's not the sense of entitlement. And the other thing is I don't start off with that one. I get to the point, through the semester where we've been having some discussions about leadership, and also the 10th grade curriculum. The resources that I have available are highly political. We used to do Animal Farm, but we have since switched that out for the other Westmore. Just in terms of time, we can't do both. And we got the other Westmore, and it's very engaging and has some wonderful conversations about that. Julius Caesar is another text. I mean, what I really want is a book that is revolutionary, but does not, unlike Animal Farm or unlike 1984, does not end badly, but actually,
gives you some hope.
Well, yeah, but like starts with the revolution and shows what happens after that, because both Animal Farm and Julius Caesar are all about what is, and this is what we talk about. This is how I frame it. What is the role of the citizen when leadership goes wrong?
Right.
Yeah, 255. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And it is possible. And I have some students who have family members who have served and are still based, but it's still based on your experiences, and are very much anti-military, and anti not just anti any authoritarian, but anti-hierarchical.
Yeah.
I have no, dear Ultra Trekkie, I'll put it on here.
Yeah. And by the way, it's 7:47 if you want to, I don't want to keep you too long because you have your thing.
Mullet, no, the pledge does not take 5 minutes, dude. It takes like
not even
seconds.
close. Yeah, the pledge to the American flag is like it's like a sentence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long sentence.
It's a long sentence, but it's one sentence. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a complete sentence.
Yes, it is.
She says approvingly. So, yeah. 255 ADM, I'm thinking about that. It's not exactly a respect thing per se. It's someone I cared about did something, took risks and worked hard and did that out of a sense of devotion and a sense of caring for their fellow citizens. And why is it okay to ignore that? It's not just respect for the person. It's a personal connection to ideals and actions they believe are important.
Mm-hmm. And it was also probably a formative experience for that
Radical
person.
Bacon, not the current Georgia flag. That would be the older one. It was redesigned a while ago, like before I started teaching, because I've still got the room I'm in. I've had my room switched a number of times since I started teaching, but we've got the same flag design. We don't have the stars and bars anywhere on it.
Yeah. I think you might be thinking of, what was it? I think Alabama.
Still,
I still had it as of a couple years ago, but I think just this past election they approved a new design. I think that may have been the last state flag to still have a Confederate flag incorporated.
Yeah,
I think I could be wrong, but I think that Alabama was the last one, and then or maybe Mississippi. Mississippi's more racist. Is even more racist than Alabama. It was probably Mississippi,
but changed it. Yeah, change happens, JPEG. I mean, change
sometimes
is inevitable.
Yeah, Mississippi. Thanks, some random guy. I thought it was. Yeah, I said Alabama, but I think I meant Mississippi.
Charles, it's the same way here. We start with moment of silence, and followed by the pledge, then the other pledge, then the announcements. So.
Yeah. So, do you want to remind everybody about your YouTube channel?
Oh yeah. And what is I'm wearing? I think this is Jane. So I'm wearing a Jane Austen shirt actually, and completely unintentionally because I'm doing my Pride, or not doing, but I have my Pride and Prejudice video set to go up tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Woo-hoo!
absolutely.
So stoked about that.
The end of volume 1, right? You've been going
the
through
end of volume 1, but there are 2 more volumes, so I still have lots of reading to do. So yeah, that's going to be this week, and then next week will be hopefully a lesson on literature and what constitutes classic literature.
That's going to be a good one.
So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I've been able to peek at the notes for this one, and this is going to be a good
because
one.
I'm like, Steve, I don't know what I'm doing. And on Friday, on Friday we are going to be talking about The Dispossessed,
absolutely,
which I'm kind of nervous about because I accidentally left this at home. I was going to read it over, do some reading over lunch. Actually, I hadn't started chapter 8, so if you haven't read chapter 8, go ahead.
Well, as long as it's read by Friday at 6 p.m.
And honestly, even if you haven't read it, you are obviously welcome to come and join us. Definitely. And yeah, the next week it's going to be literature on Tuesday, and I think I'm due for another book talk on Saturday, and also it'll probably be 13 at Dinner, which is one of my favorite Agatha Christie books, possibly my favorite one, even though it's not the most famous. I can't wait to talk about it.
That's great. Yeah. So, and Dana's YouTube channel is linked in the description of this video, and also
some random geek put it in the
chat,
the thing.
And some random geek also reminds us to tell you all about the charity links.
Yes, very important. Thank you so much, some random geek, for curating that for us.
Absolutely, it's a list of fundraisers and such from friends of ours who need a little bit of a helping hand. So yeah. And Dana and I will both be back together on Friday to talk about The Dispossessed, and then I will be back on Monday for the next conversation stream. My guest will be Serious Mind, one of my oldest and closest YouTube buddies. He and I will be chatting about probably politics, but who knows what else. And then a week from tonight, we'll be back together again for Firefly.
Woo!
So yeah,
yay television.
Yay television.
Old TV. We're old, Steve.
Yeah, we are.
We're middle-aged.
We're
not old yet, but we're middle-aged.
You're only as old as you feel.
I feel middle-aged.
Do you feel pretty good? Okay.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for the link, Radical Bacon. I'm going to have to read that eventually at some point.
Bye, everybody.